if you're not moving towards your fullest version, what are you moving towards? Okay, want to enjoy this place for a little longer. No, fam, you're avoiding your greatest potential. You're avoiding your greatest potential by choosing something you think will provide comfort, when in actuality it's in avoidance of the discomfort that is growth. And so you're choosing death in avoiding that thing that you know you gotta do or stop do. Start doing or stop doing or whatever it is. There's the thing. The thing is like the roadblock, and we're talking about moving towards Bindu, or the center of the yantra, just right there. And in terms of living in the matrix and adulting, yeah, walk the way of the cross, die to the heart. Got to align with Dharma first. Got to align with some things. You got to do some work. You got to do some alchemy. You got to align some things. When you align those things, at least you'll be able to have an opportunity and a chance, because you fortified yourself with some info or some direction, some calibration of some kind. Refer to my video called self-calibration for a dream life. And it's that. There's got to be, okay, cool. Once you calibrate that, fantastic. After calibration, you still got your mind. Your mind is still there. And your mind it's addicted to shit. It's addicted to things. It's addicted to things. It has preferences. And knowing self, truly, like true self-awareness, is a gift to self. True self-awareness allows you to serve self better than if you didn't have self-awareness. There's levels of consciousness and there's levels of it all. But you're wanting to move towards the Bindu. If you're a seeker, you're seeking. Any seeker, anyone who identifies as a seeker, like Harry Potter on a broomstick, playing Quidditch, chasing the golden snitch, the golden teller, the golden it that ends the game. If you are consciously in this process of moving towards that which is the Bindu, you're a seeker, and you're doing the same thing that, yeah, you do in Quidditch as a seeker, and you go towards the golden snitch, and it's like, yeah, the confessor of the secret. Once you get that secret, and the secret is your life, it's what you're here on earth for. You can't know it. You can't know its finished version right now. And if you do, then maybe you got some type of ability to see, and even still, you got human 3D life on the way to that. 3D human life all day, every day. For me, I've identified as smoking weed is just absolutely in my way for right now. And you know, cannabis is this amazing thing that came into my life and changed a bunch of things around, and allowed creativity to flow in a way that it never did, allowed me to relax, allowed me to be carefree in a way that I never did, allowed me to let go of tension in my body like I never did before. It gave me a new relationship with myself, with my physical self, with my emotional, my mental, all aspects of self. And I had some other really profound experiences with the drug, with the chemical compound. It's really just alchemical tool. But yeah, even if you keep brushing your teeth beyond the point of brushing your teeth, you enter into the realm of potential harm on self. Because literally, if you do that, harm self unconsciously, then ignore that that's happening, it's like, that's the glitch, bro. You're doing it to yourself and then acting like it's not happening. But then that feeling of the tension, or the feeling of the, like, there's resistance somewhere, that's the feedback saying this is not it. Stop doing this. And if you keep doing that, you're in conflict with the program running itself. Every time it starts up, it says, do not click X out during this process. We are calibrating the system. And you click X out, or you unplug it from the back. You unplug the computer altogether. You're in conflict with how the program is trying to run itself. God is trying to happen through you, and you're getting in the way. Who's getting in the way? Ego's getting in the way, fam. This is the process of some intense alchemy that we're talking about. We're talking about getting rid of ego. Yeah, that's Raja Yoga. Yeah, that's yoga. Yeah, that's talking about ascension, talking about enlightenment. When you remove the ego, you're diffusing this social aspect of the self that is a personality to provide a deeper sense of separation from source. And this is done through the personal reality, aka the personality. Personality has these things that it wants to do. What is the personality? What is the personal reality? If you've identified you want to keep smoking weed, and yet you've got the feedback that you need to stop smoking weed, what are you still doing smoking weed? And it might not even be weed. For Rocco speaking, it's weed. Maybe it's fucking with the same person that you know you just need to be done with, or stop eating GMO dairy product. I don't know, whatever it is. If you got the feedback and you're ignoring the feedback, what are you doing? Why? And what are you seeking in that? Why are you seeking avoidance of it? Fear, bro. Fear of succeeding, fear of failing, both ways it's fear. Which is manifest on a low, small level, bro. Check this out. Which manifests on a very micro level, macro, manifests on a micro level. That's so cool to me. I want to go there and hang out. That's so cool. The underneath of big intersections on highways. What is this? It's a sign on a micro level, a sign of that fear that manifests in a very observable way is procrastination. There's procrastination, there's avoidance. That avoidance is fear. Procrastination is fear. And you're basically, it's so wild because my dad's spoken of things that at the time I had judgment around it, and like I heard aspects of what he was saying as like helpful, and then I saw other aspects that I like hated, and I had resistance to, because I saw unconsciousness in aspects of his being, in his doing rather, and I had trauma towards his doing, but dude had some wisdom, and I looked at that wisdom with a conflicted lens, and so therefore I looked at all masculine wisdom with a conflicted lens, and that's my anima acting on itself. Anima or animus, I'm not sure which one, but Carl Jung's, it's like my masculine, it's like a masculine interfacing of my egoic self with my soul had a wound on it that said, it was various judgments around doing the right thing, making the right choice, choosing the right thing. Various judgments. So anytime I knew the right thing to choose, I would be at war with myself because I was at war with my father. I was at war with myself because I was at war with the masculinity within myself, because the masculinity that I had interfaced with in such a way brought about this relationship. The relationship is the angle, and the angles are the geometry. This is the geometry of my soul in conflict with the geometry of my personality and my ego. Soul geometry, ego geometry, syncing them up causes human to look like they're on their life purpose, on their light path, on the path. That's the path. When you do that, you get alchemized. Everything that's not it goes away. And those who walk the earth currently in we see them, those of us who are looking see them, and we say, wow. And they inspire us, and they reflect back to us these components that we desired for ourselves. In conflict, the conflict is like friction. The friction is causing it to move forward in a way that you're not happy with. If you take away the friction, it changes into a fun-ass ride. I know it because I've seen it and experienced it, and I just keep having this moment where I'm like, when am I gonna do it though? Look at how the sun is coming through these clouds right now. What are you wanting? Fulfillment, among other things, but rather things amongst fulfillment. But fulfillment is it. Fulfillment, I mean, that's the word that points at it. It's obviously an experience. It's obviously a lifetime of experiences in this physical body. But it's experience. It's a thing. It's many things that we can put words to. If you're adding friction to that which you are in search of, you're nuts. You're crazy. You're behaving crazy. And specifically for the one talking right now, marijuana seems to be the alchemist's flower. And yet, and for this one speaking now, it had healed so much restrictive posturing to the light that wanted to flow. And, you know, this points at kind of the polarity with cannabis as it's been discussed in a popular social spectrum. Because, you know, people who work with cannabis, they have positive experiences, but they also have negative experiences. People talk about paranoia. People talk about this type of unpleasant experience, but then a lot of people talk about a really fantastic, amazing experience. I'd love to know the actual reason for this. It seems to be soul geometry and personality geometry. And I think there's archetypes as well at play. Depending on which stone the human is in the alchemical process. That's a factor. So what? What are you gonna do with it? You don't want life to be easier. You don't want life to be better. You don't want life to be more fun. You don't want life to be more epic. You don't want life to be more lit. You don't want life to be more fulfilling, is the word I keep coming back to. Fulfilling. Wholeness. We're looking for wholeness. We're looking for wholeness because we feel, or at least because and through our egoic self and construct, our egoically constructed reality, we're in search of completion from a place that we can never be completed by or feel completed by, which is the egoic 3D matrix self-world land plane called Earth. Nothing from Maya is going to sustain it. Nothing from Maya is going to really satiate it. The golden snitch does not live in Maya. And so cannabis acts like this flaming. You ever seen Lord of the Rings? When you put that ring on, all of a sudden the whole light around, the whole reality around the wearer becomes ablaze. Ablaze like time, and then the actual physical space itself is like excited or agitated. Or I know for myself speaking, there's this experience when really induced into the cannabis state, with a high THC count, I'll say, that, and someone who has more context on sativa versus indica could probably elaborate on it, but this ablazement or this inflaming is almost like it's inflaming the egoic shell or the egoic membrane. Like there's the auric sheath around the body and these different pranic sheaths. And I think because it comes in through the lungs, we ingest it, this chemical reaction is happening in the lungs themselves. The lungs seem to be this connection or bridge to the pranic sheath, to the pranic body, to the air body, to the oxygen body, to the pranic body. It's not necessarily straight oxygen, but yoga has sheaths that it identifies as this that is being referenced right now. And so it can be healing so much, and then it gets to a point where it's in the way because it's actually being used as the way, and nothing's the way if it's the way in full, because the way is a way of no way. The way is the way of having no way and being that as the way. So on the way to that, stop choosing what's holding you back, bro. For you, not anybody else. You don't gotta prove nothing to nobody. How's your life? You want an improvement in your quality of life? Then make the choice. This is what is being referred to as the right choice. Make the right choice. We got choices all day. But these ripples are connected to everything. Everything is connected. The smallest choice and the smallest choosing of a different aspect of what could have been chosen, it augments the whole thing. It's all connected. It's a ripple. It's a domino. It's a domino effect from dropping one pebble, one little pebble, onto the lake, onto the pond of reality. It shimmers the mirror, and then the dominoes start falling. And you may see 50,000 dominoes into the experience and be like, oh, this happened. Why? Well, remember 7 months ago? Where you cheated when you were playing Monopoly with your 7-year-old nephew, and you could have came from the heart, but you chose not to because you had a hard day, and it was like, oh, I'm playing Monopoly with the kid. Let's take a course shortcut, which seems to be actually a big part of it. Which actually seems to be the whole premise of the Luciferian doctrine, is taking shortcuts. Is that's what the dark light asks for. It says, side with us, we are the shortcut. The White Lodge says take the long way. The Dark Lodge says take the shortest way. And specifically within a Masonic context of building and choosing choice, not like a Buddhist context of like regressing inwardly. But even so, because even in a Buddhist, sitting and meditating and letting fall away, even in yoga, not really about hard or difficult. It's just a matter of reflecting back to yourself how you're choosing what you're choosing. How are you choosing what you're choosing? Based on what? You tune that up, you got a shot. If you're unconscious, then you experience this stuff. You're becoming conscious when you have the feedback that says, I don't like that. Listen to that. Listen to that. Please, for us all, listen to that.